Hello, everyone. Me again. As you can probably figure, it's time for another narration. I truly hope you enjoy this, so please sit back and enjoy. Today's story is written by user Shriek is My Daddy 99. Title: I looked out my window and someone was staring back at me. So, let's begin. It all began with simple movements, simple sounds. Every now and then, my mom or grandma would hear a random clap. Who did that? They'd ask, but neither my brother or I had a clue what they spoke of. Some days we would hear something falling in the other room, and other days we'd encounter much more. For instance, my family was gathered in our living room, just talking. It was a Saturday afternoon. On the front wall, we had our TV on the stand in the center of the room, our love seat on the right wall, and our two recliners on the back wall. The last wall opened up to a dining room. Each of my family members sat on our seat, two of us in recliners and the other two in the love seat. Nobody was near the TV remote. As we were talking, all of a sudden, the TV turned on by itself. Each of us looked at each other puzzled. You're not sitting on the remote, are you? My grandma asked each of us. No, we answered. This would be just one of many paranormal experiences we'd begin to have. A couple of weeks later, I found myself sitting on the couch by myself in the living room. I was playing on my phone when all of a sudden my grandmother's CD player began playing music. What was peculiar about this time was that my grandmother had just had it switched on, the CD mode. Instead, it was playing FM radio. In order for that to have happened, you would have to physically move a switch 2 notches to the right for it to play radio. I immediately got up and told my mom and grandma, who were in the other room, but neither of them believed me. Now, I could go on about a couple of other instances where I was laying in bed and the lights came on by themselves. But let's get to the good stuff. The first experience that truly scared me was another time I was home alone. I was upstairs listening to music on my phone and coloring in my coloring book on the bedroom floor. All of a sudden, I heard footsteps go down the hall, downstairs, and the door slam. Immediately, I was alarmed and ran to my closet and locked the door. I sat there contemplating whether or not to call the police. I spent 30 minutes waiting before I decided to go check it out. Slowly, I gathered myself and began to very quietly walk downstairs and straight to the kitchen. I picked out the biggest knife I could find and slowly walked to the first floor. I opened it, scanned the room, and to my relief, nothing was there. On to the next room. I opened the door again and prepared myself to see someone there. Nothing. Goosebumps started to form on the back of my neck. I felt I needed to get out of there. I ran out of the house and to the temple right down the street where my mom was. I quickly found her and embraced her as I cried. From there, we would have similar experiences. Sounds of someone falling on our wooden staircase, my mother hearing footsteps leading up to her bed at night, then feeling something or someone sit on the foot of her bed, and lastly, my dog barking at the corner of my room at 3 a.m. randomly while nothing was there. Still, nothing would prepare me for one of the last experiences I'd have before moving out. It was 6 a.m. I had a dream that while I was in my bed, someone was watching me. I got up and stood on my bed, turning around to the window that sat above it. I decided to look out the window to see if someone was out there. To my surprise, a man in all black was staring back at me. Immediately, he ran away the moment he saw me stare back at him. I was horrified. I awoke from my nightmare to the hair on my neck standing. Someone was watching me. I sat there frozen in my bed for a solid half an hour before getting up and running downstairs without even checking my window. I was horrified. I cried in my mother's arms once again, not knowing what to do. At this point, I decided to sleep with my lights on from there on. That night and every night afterwards for 3 weeks, I woke up 3 times a night at the exact same time, on the dot, 2:30, 3:30, and 5:30 a.m. Every night, on the dot. To put the icing on the cake, the rest of my family just moved out of the house this year. Contractors began to work on the house, and my grandmother decided to go over one day and see how the house was coming along. 3 men were working on it that day. I'm not sure how it came into the conversation, but the men asked my grandmother if she knew the house was haunted, as they had felt bad energy. To her surprise that they knew, she replied, "Yes." How did they know? Apparently, while working in the garage, the 3 men saw a man dressed in all black standing there in the middle of it all. To this day, I still think about that house and shiver just thinking about what could have happened if we decided to stay there longer. Please like and subscribe for more videos. Truly, thank you for your time. Now, have a good night.